There's tape over that light?
Yeah. It's too bright. Still, it's kind of blue at the bottom now.
Huh?
We haven't done one with the camera or the phone in a while. See how things look on it. Alright, so Bob Gjika, Q&A. We're going to talk about... Put your guitar down.
Intensely bright light, but I guess it'll
Is it
work.
still bright with the tape over it?
The tape is like not doing anything.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
We'll deal with it. Okay, so we keep getting a lot of comments, and it's good every once in a while to do a Q&A. So we're going to do one today, and we're going to talk about. Start off with. Okay, someone asked, how many of these amps have you made?
How many of the 10 ends?
The 10 ends, yeah.
I've
The other
made-
ones you don't know, right?
No, I mean I don't really. I don't keep exact records and stuff like that. I've made 35 of the 10 ends.
35 of them, and
Yeah.
then you have several in stock right now.
The past
Okay.
what, year and a half or so, you know.
Okay, yeah. Okay, the last couple of years. Okay, and then is there a specific number of amps that you intend to make in this series, or is there a certain number that you could make if you wanted to make as many as possible, based on the parts and everything like that?
Well, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone next year. So, you know, there isn't a specific number, but I don't know how many I can make. You know, for one reason, parts. It's really hard to get some of the parts I use in these amps, and some of them are actually even spending all kinds of time. There's just no more of it out there. So, you know.
So unless a new source comes available of certain parts, you may be limited to. Is there a number that you think that you're for sure going to be able to make, or it doesn't?
No,
you don't
the short answer is 50 amps right now, 50 more amps of what I know I have. If I don't find anything else, that's
Okay.
the short answer.
So there might only ever be 110 ends in the world of your original
Yeah,
design,
it's possible,
without
but-
having to be altered because of new parts.
Yeah, but I'm not. You know, I don't know. I mean, but
Okay.
that's the best answer I could give you would be that. That would be the short answer.
Okay, and of these amps that you're making, who buys these amps? What's define who your I know there's no real typical customer. I see your customer profiles and who I've talked to these people. There's no real typical person, but what things do they have in common with each other? People who get your amps.
Well, really, it's the same kind of people that have been buying my amps since I was just a kid making amps. Okay, and now I'm an old guy making amps. All right, and I've been around a long time doing this. You know, the word boutique amp. I was making amps before that word existed. So.
Well, do you know what a boutique amp is?
Yeah, I think I might have some idea of that. You know, although some people would say online that I.
Well, we had that video, and it was a joke, and maybe it went over some people's heads.
Right, right. But anyway, long story short, is they're the same kind of guys. They're the guys that want the best. Okay, and that doesn't just mean that my amp is the best. That means they've tried a lot of amps. That means they go to the NAMM show and play every single amp in the NAMM show, and still tell me they can't find anything that does what these do. So, you know, I mean, they're guys that want the best. They're always looking for the best. They're not looking for what they read is the best on some gear forum of some sort. You know, I mean, they're actually looking for the best.
Well, it seems to me that there's two general types of customers. One are the ones who come over and they play the amps first and they leave with the amps. Or they leave with the burning desire to go get the money to pay for the amps.
Right.
And then the other ones are the guys who hear the videos and for whatever reason, even though the videos are produced using, a cell phone or a concert cam, not with no miking and no tools, nothing like that, that they hear what they're hearing and they know what they're hearing and they just go ahead and order it and they don't, and then when they get it in the mail,
yeah, that's correct.
They call you up and go, oh my God, I want another one.
Yeah, I mean that's correct for the most part. And the second type of guy there doesn't necessarily. I mean, they definitely hear it on the videos. Even with I play overly simple. My videos are not about my playing, okay? Because playing is about songs and writing songs and then recording songs and having a lot of different guitar tracks and stuff like that. And I'm not selling my music, and I don't care for anybody to know what my music is because it's not what I do right now. So I just play very simple, so that you can hear the amps, and I try to keep it as simple as possible, and you know, I enjoy it when some of those whiz kids, like that kid in Norway, what's his name?
Daniel Jensen.
Daniel Jensen. I mean, that guy, man, he smokes. I mean, guys like that. You want to hear that kind of guitar playing through these? It's all over the internet. There's some killer guitar players.
What's his name
playing
on there?
those 30 amps that are out there.
Railsbien or something. I can't even say it because it's in Norwegian or
Railspin
something.
or something like that.
Railspein or something like that. That's probably wrong.
There's Fabio Stable has some nice videos out there, you know. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Which brings me to the next question is like who do I want to have my amps? But remind me to get into that, okay? Because that's very important.
Just do it now.
Okay. Well, I don't care if somebody famous buys my amps or not, okay? There was another guy at one time that built amps that became worth a lot of money, okay? And everybody wonders how did that ever happen? Well, a lot of the reason why that happened is because that particular guy only sold amps to famous people. Okay?
Talking about Alexander.
Yeah, and it's a great way to do business if that's what you want to do, and that's what he did.
Well, it gives you a lot more alternatives in your life, and you can get more famous.
I don't even want to get into what it, you know.
Can you imagine if Ken had been able to do that?
Yeah, I don't even care. That's what he did, and all the power to him. And it's a great thing, right? And that's what he liked to do, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted a demo from you, you know, even in the early days. Okay, it was his whole business model, and that's fine. That's a great thing. That's not what I do, and that's not what I care about. Okay, a guy like Aaron Cowan up in, I think he lives in Burlington, Vermont. You know, this guy has bought amps for me through all the years, and he gets a 10N.
He's got about as many as you do.
Yeah, and he gets a 10N, and he's just floored with it. So, you know, something like that, a guy like that, when he sends me clips of him playing and I listen to it and go, wow, you know, and he tells me how there's stuff he can't do with any other amp, certain double stops that he's had to train himself that the amp can't track that, so don't play that. And now with this amp he can. And then a year later he comes up with a little more money and buys the cab, the matching cab, and that cab is so tuned to that amp. And you know, where my older amps weren't really tuned to one specific cab, where this amp is, and then he gets the cab, and then he calls me back and says, "Holy crap! I mean, a cab isn't just a cab, is it?" And you know, so what my point is most of the famous guys out there, half of them sound like they're playing through a kazoo now, because what are they doing? No, you know, I mean, they're
playing through an amp they got for free.
Yeah, they're playing free stuff. They don't really.
Well, you know, the other thing you just reminded me when you were talking about.
They're not searching for tone anymore, and so a guy like, I mean, that guy that I just mentioned has kids. I don't know how many kids he has. I haven't seen him in a while. You know, I've known him for many years, but he lives so far from me. But he's got kids. He's got a wife. He's got a job. You know, I mean, and yet he's still looking for the best, and he plays as well, if not more so, than any famous guy I ever heard. No, yeah, there's famous guys that own my amps and play them too, but it's not my motto. When people say, "Well, those amps are so much money, how can anybody afford them?" Well, guys that buy these from me, you know, are regular guys that have a family, but they usually have a job. Okay, because you're not going to buy anything without a job. You know, you could buy some
sell all their other stuff.
Fender amp you found in a pawn shop or something, but if you want to step up into this league, you need some money. And the first guys you mentioned are those guys like this kid Micha from Germany. He lives here now. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Shellhouse.
Shellhouse. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it is.
Really good player, that guy, right?
He's more of a jazz player, right?
He can play anything.
Yeah.
Play anything. He comes here, he plays with these amps, and he's spellbound, and he says, you know, well, I got to have that. I mean, there's nothing better than that. I've never heard anything better than that, right? But, you know, he's not made of money, right? And I'm not working for free anymore. I got news for everybody. You know, I get paid for my time, or I'll go do something else. So, you know, and that those prices people talk about that they see on, what's that stupid,
The gear form thing?
you know, that reverb thing.
Oh.
I don't sell amps on reverb. They're on there.
They're listed on
So
there
far, nobody's
for
been
people
stupid enough to not call me and get the right price, you know. And I'm just going to be blunt here, okay? So you know, the prices that you talk about and the story grows and grows, how they're more and more expensive. They're really not that price. If you contact me, you'll find out what they actually cost. But you know, a guy like him, well, how much? How much? You know, for the head and the cab? And I tell him, he said, well, he doesn't have that much money in the bank right now, okay? But he has like a bunch of junk black face Fender amps and, you know, stuff that he thought was really good, that he chased all his life. But then he came here and got bit by this, right? Well, he went and he sold that stuff. What was it 1 week, 2 weeks later?
You showed up with the money pretty
Back
quick,
here with
actually.
with a pile of cash to buy the amp, you
He
know.
was pretty motivated.
So those are the two basic kinds of people. The
Well,
people
wait, there's
that
a third one, too.
the people that say they can't afford the amp, but they really can because when they're online thinking about buying, they haven't really felt it. But when you feel it, you know you want it. That's the guy I want to sell an amp to. I don't want to sell an amp to just anybody. I don't want used amps all over the place. I can do a lot of things for a living, and I still have another job that I work at these days. I want to build an amp for somebody that knows they want this amp. And people do call me that have never been here and never played it, and they tell me what they're hearing on the videos, and they tell me exactly what they're hearing and say, no, I want that. And then when they get it, like Michelle says, they call me back and go, well, I knew this was going to be good, but this is like beyond all that, you know, because now it's your playing and you're on the amp, not just listening.
Well, they're
to me
feeling it
fumbling
instead of just
around on
hearing
the
it
guitar.
somebody else do it.
Because that's most of the magic in this amp is feeling it. It's exactly what you just said, you know. So those are the two basic guys. The guys that got a pile of money, they hear it, they know they want it, and they just buy it.
And then there's the subset of people who maybe they think of it more as an investment. They own train wrecks and dumbles, and they're wanting one.
Yeah, and
you know,
those are usually the same sort of guys as the second guys because
and they play guitar.
They don't just buy it because they own train wrecks and dumbles and it's an investment. It's not that. They heard that, right? And usually I don't find out till later because when they call me after they got it and go, dude, I got 2 train wrecks. I've got such and, you know, the 2 names of the amp they tell me, and doubles and stuff like that, and they say, you know, this amp is really, really special. This is, you know, this.
And then they order cabs.
Yeah, usually they order, guys that have that kind of money, when they hear this, they don't know when, you know, I could be gone tomorrow. They get another one right away. They order another one. And so because playing in stereo was even better, you know. And a lot of guys don't buy the cab at first because, you know.
They think a cab's a cab.
Yeah, a cab's a cab, right? Well, I got news for you. A cab, a great sounding cab, is what the whole thing is all about. I don't care if you got a junk amp or what. Okay, this is a great amp and everything, but without a great cab, without a really good cab, it's just a great amp without a really good cab. I mean, the sound comes out of your speaker cabinet, okay? And I didn't used to sell cabs over all the years because my older amps weren't, like I say, they weren't that. They were really good, but these are, you know, so far beyond that I want to know everything's right with them. With the cabs can really track that amp and stuff. And there's a lot of speakers that are good enough for my older amps that aren't good enough for these amps, and the way they're put together in the cab and stuff, right? So, so these guys, you know, usually won't buy cabs at first, although a lot of them do. They just say they're smart enough to know, and plus they have money, so it's not a big deal to them. They go, dude, I want the matching cab with that, okay? You know, I want the cab that goes with that amp. They don't want to fool around. And the guys that just don't know that, it's like one doctor I recently sold 2 amps to. He's got every cab you can. He's got a room full of cabs with finished speakers in them like these, and he's got everything. So why would he need these, right? And a year later, you know, he had heard from another guy that had one and had the cab, and he thought, well, what the hell? I'll just buy them, you know. And when he got the 2 cabs, you know, he was freaking out. He was like, well, how is it that I have all these cabs, and then I get these 2 cabs and they blow away everything in the room? Well, because they're tuned for that amp, you know.
And the break-in they give them.
Well, yeah, and I spend a lot of time with them. I'm working with them all week. And like I said, I'd never used to sell cabs because it's like, you know, my time is worth money. Go get your own cab, you know, go put your own cab together. But But that's asking too much out of you with these amps. You could plug, I mean, you hear me all the time playing through vintage speakers with these amps, and they're fine. But the real thrill, the 100% final thrill is with the cab that's tuned for it. There's different thicknesses of wood I use on the cab, on different panels and stuff. You know, I know this sounds like a lot of
voodoo
stuff,
procedure to break
bullshit,
them in.
but it really isn't. Okay, it's and the reason why is it's like if you look at an artist's painting and you know, why did you put that stroke there? And that's, who cares? He did, and that's the picture you're looking at, and you really like it, you know. So if I'm telling you whatever I came up with to do that, and that's how they sound, then that's it. That's what it is, you know. And you know, so.
And you don't go back and make your old models anymore.
No, we'll get into that, but I want
to
to say one more thing about the cabs, right? It's like the purpose of me selling cabs is just to have a complete system, because I don't build combos, okay? So when somebody says, whoa, those cabs are expensive, right? Well, it's not what it says on Reverb, okay? If you call me, it's a different price. But the thing about that is I look at, you know, other people's cabs, and maybe it's $100 more than the average cab out there. So what? It goes with this amp, and that's what it takes me to make it.
And it's been broken in as if it's been played for hundreds of hours.
Yeah, that's part of the break-in. I actually break the cone in side to side. I do a lot of break-in. You know, every part of the speaker's broken in physically, by hand, a lot of it.
And then electrically.
I know, oh, that's voodoo this, voodoo that. It is whatever it is. When that cab's done, it sounds better than any cab you have, okay? And it's with this amp. And it's because the things I do to do it, that's what it does. And that's how I
That's
design
why you do it.
Yeah. But I even break the wire in that's in those cabs. Okay, so
oh no! Don't get people started on that.
Through the wire.
They'll accuse you of tapping a capacitor or something.
Right. Okay.
So,
but so you know, that's the deal with the cabs.
Okay. So and then the other question that you're always getting is people see they want that thing, they want one of these, a tweed, or they want one of those, or they want one of those that you made a long time ago, and the picture. And so they want the gold amp, and they say, oh well, you know, he made one of these before. They really want this rack mounted thing or whatever.
Anything but this now, okay?
This is it.
And I've only ever done that, all right, with whatever amp I was building.
So it's always current model only.
Current
no
model only.
Past models.
No past models, because I don't make amps for money, okay? I mean, if you think you're going to make amps and make money making amps, then you're either just copying a famous design that you have buyers waiting for because everyone just buys that particular design, okay? You're not going to go find new customers and make money on an original amp, okay?
Well, the other thing people probably don't understand is that this is truly a cottage industry. Here's the showroom and the studio, and here's the area where the stuff's made, and that's it. We don't have room to stock.
No, but it's not about that. It's not about that, Michelle.
Models and
Let me
stuff
explain
either.
what it's about, okay? And you know this. You're just not picking it up right now, but I build the best amp that I can come up with, okay? When I come up with a better amp, guess what? Why do I want to sell you the old one? Why would you want that anyway? All right, and then I move on.
Well, what if you somebody who thinks that they want a 20-watt amp instead of a whatever
That's
wattage you're
a great
making
question.
now?
So you're asking me, why don't I make a small wattage version of this amp?
Why aren't you making
And another thing I want to clear up is I always hear even guys that really enjoy my stuff and share my videos, and I was looking at one guy's thing the other day, and somebody said, what is that? You know, like he was really impressed, and the guy said, oh, they're really loud single-ended amps, they're awesome. Well, yeah, they're really loud, and they're awesome, but these amps play ultra low. If you ask most people that own them, what is the best thing about this amp in your life, that they can get this tone so low it's not even funny. No other amp comes close that they've ever owned, okay, or own now. So why do I need to build a 20-watt amp? Just to take care of an alleged market of what you think you need, you know?
Well, if it performs what people want from a 20-watt amp, then why would you not just get the amp that does everything?
It won't, and the reason why it won't, there's a lot of reasons, but I gave it the simplest reason. These amps have 4 power tubes, okay? There's a million other things going on in there, but I'm just going to single out, there's 4 power tubes in there, okay? So whatever it is that I do, I'm not going to tell you because it takes too long, but whatever I do to get that great sound down low, the complexity in that sound is coming from 4 tubes that could also make extremely loud volumes.
It's starting to jerk around, and we're at 20 minutes now, so we should probably
Okay.
wind this up, or it's going to end on this.
All right. So when you experience all the things I put into this amp, one of those things you're experiencing is the ability that it makes that wattage to give the complexity in the tone at that low wattage. And when I make a little 20-watt amp, it's not going to have the magic that this amp has.